This is the Hoops Report. I'm George Michalowski coming to you from Chicago. I'm out of town for the holiday, but we had a huge weekend back in the Pittsburgh basketball scene. The local teams combined to go 6-0. How about it? Pitt, RMU, and Duquesne, men and women, all teams won on Saturday. It was a huge weekend with some massive performances, and we'll start with the Pitt men, who scored 110 points and took down a good Sam Houston State team at home. Ishmael Leggett, Zach Austin both had 23 points. Guys, Zach Austin, 23 points is great. He's averaging 10 points a game now at this point. He's shooting 45% from three. I mean, he hit 5 more threes in that game against Sam Houston. Not even all of them were clean catches and the cleanest of looks. I mean, this guy has turned himself into a real three-point threat. So you can't be happier if you're Pitt going into this conference slate with how he has improved, how he has played, on top of another special performance from Jalen Lowe, getting a double-double with points and assists. Cam Corrin also turned in 15, Biba Cummings with 10. So a very complete performance for Pitt. That's what you want to see, a blowout win over a good mid-major squad in Sam Houston. We move on to the Duquesne men, who picked up probably the most important, probably the biggest win out of all 6 teams over the weekend. I mean, Drew Joyce's squad, shout out. I mean, that's a huge win over UC Irvine at home. They dominated that game, and it was behind a great shooting effort. 3 different Dukes had at least 3 threes in the game. I mean, that's something that we've been waiting to see, right? Like, this team has shot a good amount of threes all year. We've been waiting to see them break through as a unit and really catch fire together. So Dinkins, Corbett, and Cam Crawford each hit 3 threes in the win, 14 of 25 for the Dukes in the win. So they moved up over 50 spots in the NCAA net rankings, up just outside of the 200 mark. So keep an eye on the Dukes, man. This is the time that they want to catch some fire and keep this momentum going. They've got Cleary next, should take care of business there. And then it's on to A10 play, which we all know is very important. So good for the Dukes, good for Joyce. They're catching fire at the right time. We all knew they had it in them. We've been saying it all year, all summer. It's just a matter of time before this team realizes its talent and joins forces to find some more wins. So a great win for the Dukes. On to the RMU men, I watched that game. They beat St. Francis at home. Andy Toole's squad pulled away in the end. Alvaro Folgueras, man, I mean, he's a special talent. If you guys haven't seen him play, if you're a forward in the Pittsburgh area growing up, you got to go see Alvaro play, because this guy gets tested by Andy Toole. You know, they will go at it during the games, and Toole will challenge him. And Alvaro just responds and responds and responds. I mean, he has been spectacular this year, averaging double-digit rebounds. He had a ridiculous 27 and 16 game on Saturday, leading them to the win over St. Francis. So just a very talented player, fun to watch too. He's great in the post. He's great on the glass. I mean, he's a really gifted basketball player. He even stepped out and hit a few threes. So Varro was the key for the Colonials, among others. Dickerson had a nice performance, some late buckets as well. So great win for Robert Morris men. On the women's side, Pitt women's basketball, Hadija Faye led the way. In addition to her, Michaela Elmore grabbed 15 rebounds. I mean, this Pitt team, we know, is shorthanded. They're going to have to get contributions from everywhere they can, not only scoring, but on the glass. So for Elmore to grab 15 boards, that's big. 8-6 now for the Panthers. On Duquesne's women's front, Meg McConnell had another triple-double. I mean, who's surprised by that? I don't think anyone is at this point. You got to get out and see her play. She's the best women's basketball player in the city of Pittsburgh right now. Angela Matic had 20 points, 9 rebounds. Apologize if I'm saying the last name wrong. 20 points and 9 rebounds. I mean, that's incredible for a player that we haven't talked much about this year. Like, this Duquesne women's roster is so loaded that I've barely mentioned Angela on this show and in my writing this year. I mean, that's just a big-time performance out of her. That team is 9-2, and man, do they have a lot of weapons. I can name 5-6 players on that roster that could give you 20 points. I could give Dan Burr 20 points each night. So led by Meg McConnell, Dukes advanced to 9-2. That is a tremendous non-conference slate for them, especially after what we saw happen at Kent State earlier in the non-con. They rebounded from that, and they've looked unbelievable since that mark. That was the win in the win over Bowling Green this weekend. RMU women's basketball continued their pleasantly surprising start to the Chandler McCabe era. You know, I really love what I see out of them. They've got some talented ball players. I mean, Noah Vaughn is the one who's leading the way. She had double digits on Saturday as well as Isis Grady and Jada Lee. So three-headed monster kind of there in the backcourt with those 3 scores, in addition to Danielle Vuletic and some other talented players. RMU, Chandler McCabe's squad, only had 10 turnovers in the game this weekend, a blowout over St. Bonaventure. So that's their second lowest total of the year. It's a massive win. Beating an A10 team by 24 is a big deal. So great for Chandler McCabe, great for the Colonials, and just good to see. Good to see all these teams picking up a win before the holiday here. I mean, 6-0 for Pittsburgh basketball. What a weekend, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.